All right, everybody can mute up if you know how to do that. I appreciate it. Uh, I'm Dr. Darren Mills, and I do a Zoom class every other Tuesday at 7 p.m. and try to teach people about the various ways that helping themselves naturally, talk about different supplements. The last a lot of the Zoom classes I talk about how to consciously take back the aging process and to live our best lives. My goal is to make our health age younger than our chronological age, and that's been my goal, and it'll continue to be my goal until they put me away or put me in the dirt. So, so anyhow, we're talking today about natural pain relief. And, pain, I'll talk quickly. I think pain is a variable. Some people feel pain more than others, and pain can be a good thing. If it's something that is, say you sprain your ankle and you shouldn't walk on it for a while because then it can make it worse. So it's not all bad, but when it's chronic, that is when it can be pretty bad. And so I'll talk about the physical aspects as well as the emotional aspects. And I definitely am a huge believer that the emotions can at very least make the physical way worse. If a person is struggling with stress, it can exacerbate the feeling of pain from, say, a 5 to an 8 or 9 and make it almost unbearable. And sometimes it can, the physical can be unbearable, especially when a person starts having surgeries. That's been my experience of what I've heard other people say. It can be a very slippery slope when people start getting these surgeries and to get surgery after surgery after surgery after surgery. And and it doesn't always turn out the way it was intended, it seems. So the first natural method I wanted to talk about was called the signal pain patch. This is the goodie that I was telling you about, and I might as well start out with it first. A gentleman comes to see me, and he's older, and he told me about something called the signal pain patch, and it is a reusable patch that you put where the pain is and it somehow blocks the signal going from your pain site to your brain. And I looked at the website and it said that it aligns the electrical signaling. And so if it doesn't exactly the way it says it works, it says it doesn't necessarily block the pain, but it aligns the signals to where it's coming in correctly into the brain, and the brain doesn't see it as a staticky situation that is needing uh, treatment or healing. So that I think there can be good sides to that and bad. The good side is there's no more pain. The bad side is if a person, doesn't heed caution, they could make it worse. And so this gentleman knows that, and he's not really, out lifting motors anymore out of cars anyway. That being said, what he did was he worked at Ford Motor Company, and for quite a few years, he picked up, I think, like 85-pound tires and put them onto a hub over at the truck plant. Now they have robots doing that, but back in the day that he did it, they had him doing it, and he very quickly, as quickly as he could, got out of that job, I believe. But it was too late. He had already done the damage to his back, and so from that point forward, um, he struggled with his back, through the years. but that was one of the things. He gets weekly massages with me. That seems to help him a lot. Um, and I believe he's right at 80 years old. So he's, you know, very, very mobile for 80. But that being said, um, probably because he gets all kinds of treatments, and that's been very good for him. Um, the other thing I was thinking about rife frequencies. Rife frequency is again, it's a type of frequency that can be very healing. Welcome, Lisa. And I have the rife frequency generator, and I use that with people with pain, and it does seem to reduce the signal. So far, I don't have any testimony saying it's stop pain forever. But my daughter, actually, I used it for her with knee pain, and it stopped her pain for about a year. But she did report to me that it is coming back. So maybe I could get her in again. And I don't know how that works. It seems to again somehow interrupt the pain signal to the brain using frequency waves. And we'll talk more about that different kinds of frequency, but anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about on that. Um, let's see. The other is massage, of course. Massage can be great for spreading out pain receptors. That's basically what you're doing is you're running, either elbow or palm across the pain area and unbunching those muscle fibers and getting blood flow into the area where and also spreading out the pain receptors so that um, the body is not having a conglomeration of bunched up pain receptor all in the same spot. I use cupping, which again it uses suction bulbs, and I bring the skin and I pull blood. It pulls blood into the area, which is great because that's typically what causes muscle contraction is a lack of blood flow. So whenever you're bringing blood flow back into the system, and I use those suction bulbs for 10 minutes. You put them on somebody's back, suction using a pump gun and let it sit on the area where there's pain for about 10 minutes. And it seems to make a huge difference. It decreases pain, especially over time. It's made a big difference. Um, Ultrasound is something I use. It uses sound waves. And basically, I'll do that for 10 minutes. And again, that's bringing blood flow into the area and it seems to break up muscle fibers pretty well. I have a massage gun, which is similar to manual massage in its own way, but it's a mechanized form of that. It's like having um, I don't know. I was gonna say a jackhammer with a sponge ball on the end of it, but I don't know if that's a good analogy or not. I have a cold laser, and again, that does somewhat similar things. It brings blood flow to the area and brings healing and reduces inflammation, things of that nature. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a sip of water. My mouth's getting dry. Um, let's see here. Oh, I was going to talk about something I learned about a year or so ago about trigger point therapy again. I kind of learned a little bit about it in massage therapy school, but trigger point therapy is basically pushing on the spot for about 5 minutes, and then again, it's like unkinking the water hose when you're pressing on that muscle belly. It if it's kinked up there. and then you let go of it, it's like what basically like water flowing, but it's really blood flowing again. Um, yeah, let's see here. Yeah, so the goal with massage is to lengthen contraction knots, bunched up muscles, and to interrupt the energy crisis, because that's really what it is. It's an energy, it's bunched up energy that's getting stuck because the muscles contracted. I want to say this too, that a lot of times it has to do with a person's attitude towards life, I think can make pain worse. And I had a gentleman talk to me the other day, and he said he felt a lot of pain in it. I can't remember what it was. He he fell in the shower and he hurt. I think he's twisted his ankle pretty bad, and he said he prayed about it and asked God to take his pain away. And I'm telling you what he said. He said it's that when I was talking to him, he said it's much, much better. And he was able to do the things that he needed to do. He was looking for a job and so that is I think curious to I'm to see how much prayer. I do believe that it can be a big help for sure. Well, I'll do my commercial. Again, I'm Dr. Darren Mills with Freedom Whole Health, and my number is 502-410-1270. Please tell people about me if you know anybody who wants to learn more about natural health, bring them to the Zoom meetings. And also, if you get on to YouTube, you can give me a thumbs up, and that helps to people to find me a little bit easier on YouTube. And I plan on doing more and more of that too, because I want to get the word out there. I think it'll be a really good thing. Um, I want to say this about when I was going through my divorce, I started developing horrible pain in my gut. And one thing a book I read was called Pain Free for Life by Dr. Scott Brady. And it talked about, more about psychosomatic pain. Welcome, Floor. I don't know if Ben's with you. And but anyhow, the I know that my emotional state brought on the physical state, and I don't deny that. And I think uh there's always been a stigma about having pain come from, especially from a man standpoint, and even from a woman's standpoint. If a person's pain is coming from a psychological standpoint, I think it's kind of people can't understand that, or many people can't. And Pain Free for Life helped me understand that keeping things inside is not a good idea. It can cause all kinds of horrible problems. And it was like the way it talked about was when you have stress, it's like I don't know, for those of people that know about a tachometer on a car, it's like having your tachometer in the red, for an extended period of time. Eventually, the motor's going to blow up because it's not meant to be over revved like that for any extended period of time. Anybody who's interested, I can tell them more about it. But I thought it was a great book, and I thought it helped me tremendously. My pain went from an 8 or a 9 to about a 4. And I don't have pain anymore. And I'll get to some of the supplements that I think have helped me to help to get rid of my pain as well. And I'm not saying at some point the psychological becomes a real manifestation physically. And at that point, you're dealing with two things. You're dealing with the psychological manifestation as well as the physical manifestation. And once it's turned on to the physical, it becomes solid and concrete, in my opinion. I think that a lot of people's pain comes from inflammation. Um, and something that helps with inflammation. There's quite a few different ones. There's something called digestive enzymes that help break down foods. And if your body is getting help breaking down the foods, then your body can at a later time go and try to heal itself. The body is a self-healing mechanism, which a lot. It's seemingly the medical community doesn't talk about much, but it is. It's like anything else. It's if for instance animals can do it, they don't have hospitals that they go to. They will lay low and let their body heal up. Now, many times it doesn't because it can be a situation where if they're in the jungle or something, then a much stronger animal is going to take over take them over for lack of a better word. But anyway, yeah, I'm getting off topic. Nattokinase is comes from it's a fermented soy, and it is highly anti-inflammatory, and it can be very good um for reducing pain and healing the different problems that a person has. And I've had several people that I've recommended natto to, and it's made a huge difference in healing time. Um, if they have gut problems, it can help heal the gut. And it's very similar. There's another product called Pancreatin 8X, and it's also it's basically a pancreatic enzyme that does wonders for people. It's a systemic enzyme, so you take those away from food, and it can make a big difference on getting your body to heal. Another product is called BioLA, and it has three ingredients: white willow bark, which white willow bark is it's from the Indians had learned about that, and it has the same, I think, base ingredient is aspirin. It's salicylin or salicylin, something like that. But anyway, it's a pain reliever, and it's all natural, and it doesn't seem to cause some of the documented issues that say Tylenol and things of that nature would have. Um, there's a lot of research to show that taking ibuprofen and things like that creates a microbe bleed in the stomach, and if you take it too long, it'll create a hole in your stomach. So that's never a good idea to take that for extended periods of time. And I will say quickly, there was a gentleman that when I did accounting, he he had a lot of things going on, and he his wife said he by the end of his life he was taking aspirin by the handfuls, which I would guess probably contributed. I don't know if that was literal or not, but probably quite close to literal. Um, but anyway, I think it contributed to his death because it ultimately, from what I've heard, it can actually make the problem worse if you are overtaking those types of products. The other one's called Devil's Claw, and I didn't get a chance to research that one that much, but I know, it is a pain reliever. And the third one is Boswellia, which is frankincense, and there's a lot of healing properties about Boswellia. It's both good for emotions, and it's also a very anti-inflammatory, and you can use that topically as well. And I was looking at something. It's called Scalacia, and that's it's used for joint pain, like osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. And it is all natural. It's a plant, so it seems to do a lot of good things. if anybody wants these notes, I can send it to them. Um, the other thing is red light therapy, and I've been talking to people about this. You can um, it's very anti-inflammatory, and it works due to mitochondrial activation, and that increases ATP production, enhances cellular metabolism. It encourages collagen production, and it encourages blood flow enhancement, which is increases blood circulation and delivers oxygen and nutrients to the treated area. And I have not looked into this fully, so I can't tell you how much it costs exactly, but from what I've heard, the red light therapy is not very expensive. It's pretty it maybe I don't know if it's a bulb or maybe you have to buy the whole mechanism. I know that some of them have like for your face and they have like a mask. And I don't know if that helps only in the face, but I'm gonna look into that further. I encourage you to look into that further, especially if you're having, pain symptoms somewhere and you want to find a natural way to heal it, or at least to um, ameliorate it, which means, make it feel better for the time being. And the last thing that I've got, I was thinking about, well, if red light therapy works, an infrared sauna would probably be good. And infrared sauna it's great for detoxification. But I was doing some research a while back on infrared sauna, and what it does is it kind of tricks your body into thinking that you're dying because it puts a strain on your body, because it's similar to doing a 4 to 6 mile run if you get in there for 30 minutes. And so your body builds up immune cells, and it also stimulates endorphins, which is natural painkillers. And I thought that was a good thing to tell you all about. And that's pretty much what I have for you all today. I'm going to take this off of the recording and then